Welcome to Beyond Wealth, Success Unscripted with Matt Calnan. Discover the personal drive, professional journeys, and business strategies that have made a real impact. It's success from the inside out.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're talking with Michael Palmer. Michael is the Vice President of Operations, a Director and a Partner with Innosol Health Corp. Over the course of Michael's career, he's developed his skills in branding, marketing, executive coaching, equity financing, creating customer experience and care platforms, and designing retail franchise systems. Michael's created and launched several startup and early stage companies consisting of angels, venture capital, private equity, funds, and high net worth accredited investors. So first of all, Michael, welcome to the show. And why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Great. Thank you, Matt. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me on today. Michael Palmer, and one of the co-founders of Innosol Health and Vice President of Operations. And our main product is Sol strips. They're like oral thin film strips.
Yeah.
Gross. There's 10 strips to a box. Oral thin film is kind of like Listerine breast strips, if you're familiar with that.
Yes, yeah.
For a long time at point of sale. And that's the technology. Technology is a drug delivery system. Oral thin film. So we focus on right now vitamin supplements.
Okay.
And why it's such a great platform. It helps those who are pill fatigued, tired of taking pills, can't take pills, or classified as medically dysphagic, meaning they have trouble swallowing pills or cannot. And with the strips simply get placed on your tongue, melt within 5 seconds, and the active gets into your bloodstream within 3 to 5 minutes. The only thing faster is a needle, so it's really, really great.
Oh, okay. So it's a quicker system of
exactly.
injection.
And for myself, I'm a father of two daughters, one 24 and 21. One graduated from UBC. The other one is finishing up at UBC Okanagan.
Awesome.
And that's my favorite role in life is being a dad. You can't beat that. It's
No, you can't beat that one. Yeah.
It's rewarding. And I'm an active sports person too, and I love all sports. Grew up playing competitive hockey and baseball and tennis and golf. So it's you love to keep active and keep it active too, and especially in team sports, it's fantastic to have that background too. It helps all of us, even in business, as we know, as being a better teammate and
absolutely
your colleagues. And so that's a bit of that. And I love to travel. Spent a number of years actually in the travel industry. Been a serial entrepreneur, and I love helping other entrepreneurs. It's you're paying it forward, but it's in your DNA. And I kind of hang my hat on the side also with a group called Intergen as an intergenerational. It's a Calgary-based venture capital that kind of marries gray hair with entrepreneurs. And there's so many blind spots in business, and if you can have someone who's been there and done that a bit and share their experiences and help them along, that just makes the journey a little hopefully smoother.
Yeah. Do you ever invite guys, that might be 35 but look much older because of all the gray that they carry, like myself?
Absolutely. No, it's I know some of the gray hair for all of us starts early in life, doesn't it? But
yeah, mine was 23. It started, so that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. But no, I think it's I think the ecosystem in Alberta itself, whether it be where you are in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat and Calgary, Red Deer, Edmonton, it's Alberta's firing on all pistols right now, and it's just great to see all the development in artificial intelligence, which is a hot place, fintech, biotech, medtech, which we're in, because we're kind of a life science, biotech, and consumer packaged goods company. But it's really exciting times for all of us.
No, that's very cool. This popped in my head as you were talking about those strips, but are they child friendly as well? Like, can you use them with kids?
They are. They're very, and sometimes we say the dosage is low, so we say it's safe, but it's always best to talk to your medical practitioner or naturopath, or that'll help you out. But yeah, for children, we have a lot of children that are taking the melatonin because we know how hard and challenging, and even to being post-COVID, we know that a lot of people suffer from getting that good REM sleep, and with children, they're safe to take. So it's vitamin D is great. The electrolytes, we just tell some people, hey, if you're not comfortable taking the full strip, just cut it in half.
Sure.
And give them half later, type of thing. But it's
Yeah.
But the electrolytes start off being a pediatric to start off with, so we know it's low dose.
Okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
What jumped up to my head with the electrolytes is the day after you've had 9 beer might be
exactly,
good.
exactly. Definitely helps. I'd say when you have a night, take 2 strips before you go to bed,
Yeah.
and when you wake up, take 2 strips, and you'll find that you don't have that the beer head or the wine head. And so
Interesting.
it's great for jet lag too. Those who have to log a lot of miles, you'll find that
Yeah.
having your electrolytes too, it really makes a difference when you're on long haul flights.
Yeah. Yeah. So what got you into that field? Give us a little bit of the background there.
I kind of fell into it at that time wearing my angel investor coach mentor hat with a group called Valhalla, which was the VA Angels here in Calgary, one of the first angel chapters, and we came across the concept, and we really quite liked it. And one of those things you liked it so much you got involved, and
Okay.
so
Interesting.
and there's 5 of us co-founders, and it's been exciting, but it's been lots of typical curveballs and spitballs and road bumps along the way. It's just there is no, as you know, a straight line as being in business or as an entrepreneur as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a lot of things you have to be adaptable and be able to move and pivot with the changes. But so that's how it came across my lap, and I thought, wow, what a great idea to help those who just a better alternative, a better mousetrap to help you with getting taking care of your health and wellness, which we know is so important these days.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly a topic that's expanding over the last decade or a couple decades here, and a lot of people are putting a lot more focus into it as there's more resources available as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you guys face a lot of government red tape going through that process?
So far, not too badly. So what we do is, even though we're a Calgary-based company, we do
Hmm.
have a U.S. subsidiary based out of Cincinnati.
Okay, yeah.
So the FDA in the U.S. classifies vitamin supplements as food, as a GRAS, GRAS, as generally regarded as safe. If you're not making medical claims and you're making sure that everything on the packaging, your website, and your
Hmm.
marketing and PR materials have no claims made because you haven't placed the supplements through clinical trials to make those claims, the FDA will leave you alone. You'll fine.
Okay.
Health Canada is a little bit different. You have to file with them to get a natural product number for each product, or as we say in retail, each SKU,
Yeah.
and that's it. There's a few extra dollars, but that's and you also have in Canada you have to have the French labeling, of course.
Right. Yeah.
That's really your regulatory hurdles, provided you're again not making the medical claims. And the European authorities tend to be more like the FDA. The three of them work close together, but vitamin supplements tend to be a little smoother versus going into prescription meds or therapeutics,
Right.
or if we get ourselves into over-the-counter meds like ibuprofen and Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, we'd want to put those through clinical trials, which could be up to 18 months. And that way, if they are successful, we can come back and make the claims of, it's closer to 90% bioavailability.
Got
It'll
it.
answer your GI tract and liver and all those important things. That really, why would someone take a strip versus a pill, a capsule, or a gummy? And most of them they've been around for 3,000 plus years. Gummies are full of binders, so a lot of sugar. There are
Hmm.
sugarless kinds, but they find that they're not good because they still have to go through your GI tract and liver.
Yeah.
And for melatonin, some find that melatonin does not work to help them to getting into a deeper sleep, resetting your time clock. And if you take melatonin as a solid form, the liver does not like melatonin. It'll destroy a lot of the purities in it. So by taking it through the strip, it's closer to 90% you know, absorption bioavailability, which means you're getting most of the active in your bloodstream and you're getting it quickly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know a few people that have like gastrointestinal issues, and even for them, just taking like Tylenol or Advil is kind of a big deal, right? Like they don't like to do it because it causes other issues for them. So does that help solve that then?
Yes, it sure does. And
Yeah.
you're exactly right, because ibuprofen, first of all, is hard on the stomach and the gut. And
Yeah.
gut health is so important these days. We're all, tuned into that. And Tylenol is really tough on our livers. As much as every hospital on the planet still uses
Yeah.
both products, and they continue to do that. But if you can give them a better drug delivery system, that's going to be easier on the. It doesn't cause any other problems down the road. It's definitely the way to go with oral thin film would definitely solve that challenge.
Okay. And how long have you guys been doing this for?
Just over 5 years now. We had some history prior to the 5 years, and where we even tried putting aspirin 81 through trials and things,
Yeah.
and it's the reason why you don't see any kind of aspirin products in a liquid form, because it biodegrades too quickly. So all of a sudden,
Oh, okay.
aspirin 81, which is great for heart health and stroke, those who are susceptible to strokes. It's a huge market. There's about 80 million people in North America that take a low dose of aspirin for that reason.
Yeah.
And but when you put it through what we call accelerated stability testing to get us that 2-year shelf life, all of a sudden aspirin 81 was like aspirin 60, so you can't sell that. You can't put that on the shelf.
Gotcha.
Even
Yeah.
it's still effective, but it's just not a commercial product. The FDA wouldn't allow it, neither would Health Canada.
Okay. Okay. And what's your background then, Michael? Like how, I mean, you've been doing this, like you said, 5+ years, but what's your background before that?
I really just an entrepreneur, and for a number of years, and ventures, some successful, some not so successful, like all
Yeah.
of us.
Yeah,
No one wants to
absolutely.
talk about their failures, but that's part of the journey. It's part of learning and part of growing. And prior to that, I was with, I'll say, corporate Canada. I was in the airline and travel industry for 20 years, and I'm from running the sales on the
Yeah.
passenger side for KLM Royal Dutch Airlines and Northwest Airlines, which is Delta Airlines. And then we owned, myself and a partner, we owned about 15 travel agencies and
Okay.
across Western Canada, and was always into building businesses, but mostly on the travel industry side. So quite a bit different, quite a different journey.
Yeah, definitely. Did you shift away from the travel agency like with the internet coming up, or was that a planned exit?
We kind of good question, Matt. We that was the whole platform. The mom and pop travel agency shops were really getting beaten up with the thinning margins of
Yeah.
vendors were cutting back on their commissions,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden these two swear words, Travelocity and Expedia, came along, and how do they keep up with the So we kind of encompassed all of that. We went for a whole kind of omni-channel approach. So the e-commerce platform we developed to go along with those who still want to come in person, bricks and mortar, or they want to, believe it or not, the word fax in their itineraries and
Yeah.
request,
Yeah.
email, whatever. We were available basically 24/7. So we wanted to localize it in each city that we served, but we also really wanted to encompass the e-commerce and build that website so the newer generation, or the ones who are more accustomed to buying online, then we could grow with that and help the ones who've been in the industry for a long time, either with a full exit, or if you're going to stay involved, we hopefully got to have a better approach, and we cover all the however anybody wants to buy products, so you give them that choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting. It's definitely a different world from what you're involved in now. And you talked about some of the serial entrepreneurship. Can you tell us, maybe something that didn't work out well, and how do you rebound from that?
Good question. Yeah, the we had a ground transportation company as well, and we uh, we had a partner in there that was the operational partner,
Yep.
and probably not the right person to be leading. We took that chance. They had the background, had a really good mind for putting logistics together, but to deliver it without running costs up, it was a nightmare. And so we just learned we probably, I wouldn't say we rushed into it, but we probably, the old story is, if you're going to do it, if you're looking for partners to partner up on, it's no different than when you're onboarding future staff. Is that you always try to hire slowly and fire quickly, right? So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
move on. We should have probably moved on, and then
Yeah.
by that point, it got to be too late in the game to really to salvage the wreckage. So
Yeah.
we learned a lot from that, and to realize that you do have to, you know, everything you do, especially with that kind of a investment that's critical and costly, you just have to make sure at the end of the rainbow you've got the right people that you're on the bus, and then and
Yeah.
you're working together and making things happen.
Yeah, that that's one sentiment we on the show we hear quite a bit, but also in my life from different ownership things that we've had going on, when you have somebody really strong and passionate and driven, driving the bus of that business, running that business, your chances of successful outcome skyrocket compared to when you have somebody that maybe isn't the right fit for it or isn't the best person. It makes it a pretty big challenge to have a successful business that way.
Yeah, exactly. And your gut usually tells you that too. And sometimes we as human nature, we tend to react a little differently, a little slower in a sense. So
Yeah.
you just need to, unfortunately, it's not a pleasant thing to have to go through, but you have to make those tough decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, you made the quote earlier about you hire slow and you fire fast. We are by human nature, we typically hire fast and fire slow, unfortunately, and it is a mindset shift to get around to that.
I think that's the Canadian in us, isn't it?
It could be a Canadian way. Yeah, maybe our friends to the south don't have that same issue. So if you looked at, what you're doing now, what would be a skill or a habit or a trait or multiple skills, habits, traits that have really helped you get to where you are today?
Uh, for me, I think it's just you love dealing with people, even though it's and you like and I always say too, even though it's your business, you're really working for your staff, not the other way around. So
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
that part you
Yeah.
learn being the vulnerable servant leader that you want to become an employer's choice. So I think you learn those quickly, and when you're getting the right people and dealing with things, because your culture is critical, and
Mhm.
that's the challenge we have these days with the hybrid workforce. Is those that have that since post COVID, you've got people that are working out of the house, some doing both, and some at the office, and it's not so much that you want to demand, you want to give people flexibility, you want them to be creative, autonomous, and all that. But I think you still want to build a strong working culture that everybody's accountable to each other and you're working
Yeah.
together. And that sometimes is very difficult to continue to do that from home. It's nice to have a combination, but you still want to have those together stuff so you can build that and have some fun and make mistakes and
Yeah.
you're going to make mistakes and learn from them and fail quickly and move and learn from that. So I think you learn that throughout the cause that failure is not a weakness. It's just, and sometimes you have to make those decisions to pivot or go a different direction. And I, I think you realize sometimes you have to do that quicker than waiting too long. You want to make the right decisions on a
Mhm.
time fashion and make sure everybody's buying into it. So I think you just over time you learn that people skills are so important today.
Yeah.
General skills.
Yeah.
I think just getting out there. I've always been kind of a networker, and you do. And when you're up there, part of it, networking is not about you or me. It's about the other person you're talking to.
Hmm.
Getting up there
Hmm.
what brings you here? Why are you here? It'd be fantastic. Pleasure to meet you. The human nature is for most of us, they want to, turn the ears, off, open up the mouth, and tell you how wonderful I am. And you know, you'll build a better trust, integrity, long-lasting relationship with those you want to if you just listen and ask great questions, and you learn more, you hear more. So I think throughout my business life, I think you just fine tune that and get better and better at it.
Yeah. And what you said there's it's that active listening, right? I mean, you can stand and listen to somebody, but if you're not actively listening to them, you're not coming up with the good questions or discussions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think there's so much that's going on out there in the marketplace, and even though it's other industries that you're not in, you'll find that most entrepreneurs they all want to help each other out. They're all out
Yep.
there really, really say, and that's Alberta too, though. Alberta's always been that way. you need to meet Betty, you need to meet Bobby, there's nothing,
Yeah.
nobody has, they're just there to genuinely help you. And if there's some synergy there, that might be a good connection for you. That's really the neat thing that makes, I think, Alberta exciting and attractive.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. How many people are on your team?
We got a team of just under 10, so a small team.
Yeah.
And we're going through a capital round of raising, and that will help us to, as we call it, a growth capital raise. That'll help us onboard up to another 10 plus bodies.
Okay.
And now we'd like to have that start happening come this fall. Is
Yeah.
moving in that direction.
So from your company standpoint, it's a good growth stage as you're trying to ramp up and push products further out.
It is, yeah. We're at that critical stage, we call it too, is getting into. Right now, we're in besides our e-commerce platform, we're in 100 plus US retail locations and growing. And it's a bit of an art and science to get on the shelves down in the US or
Definitely, yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
And there's somebody that other those who are trying to get products on shelves. There's a lot of marketing fees, a lot of shipping fees, logistic fees, and slotting fees that because most of your retail chains on a new product, they want to share the risk, and in the first go around they want to put more of the risk on the new product, the new company.
Yeah.
So slotting
Yeah.
people them take a chance.
Yeah. I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that when you're looking at products on a store shelf, especially some of the bigger chains, quite often people are literally paying to put their product there. So they're renting a little bit of that shelf space from the store. So it makes business tough sometimes.
It does, and the retailers these days, especially in the U.S., if you take the Costco model as well, if the product's not selling, they can turn around and send the product back to you
Yeah.
and refuse
And
to
it's
pay.
yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want that. You don't want that
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
Has there been a book or a podcast or something that's been really influential to you and getting to where you are?
Yeah, I think there's a lot.
Yeah.
I follow Robin Sharma. I just do. I like his books and enjoy
Yeah.
the shortness of them and how he presents it. Um, the it's just that unstoppable mindset, creating that where we know in life and business is not a straight line. So I think having yourself always getting back in the horse, and I think
Yeah.
some of the things that they say that there's no magic wand, no magic cure. It's just that, hey, me, you got to get out there and you're gonna get punched in the gut, you're gonna get kicked in the
Yeah.
backside. It's how you respond and how you react, how you get back on that, in your journey. And and it wasn't my phrase of coining it. It was somebody else, but we all have mentors, and I think don't go it alone. If you can get someone you value, one or two mentors besides
Hmm.
peer groups, like-minded, entrepreneurs and CEOs, if you want to call it that, and just a network of having advisors around you to help this, because business is not easy. It's
Hmm.
fun, lots
Hmm.
of things going on. So I think learning that we didn't have that 20 years ago like we have now. It's
Yeah.
amazing the amount of help and support you have. And it's okay. It's not a sign of weakness to reach out and
Yeah.
get that. I think even investors appreciate that you're actually really, you know, trusting that you can carry the mail, you can grow this business, but you're also coachable,
Yeah.
and you're out there, you're really trying to find a solution and grow the company. So I think, and the coin phrase I was going to get to was, it's not just having live personal mentors, but virtual mentors, which would be the
Hmm.
Robin Sharmas, the Tony Robbins, the Dean Graciosis, and you can go on with all your favorite business tycoons from Elon Musk to Steve Jobs and some of the things that he did when he was still around.
Yeah.
Just, the Peter Druckers of the world. There's always something by reading a book, because leaders are readers,
Hmm.
whether it's a podcast or it's a digital book or a hard copy book. How can you do it better? You're always continuously be curious and always growing. So having your virtual mentors as well is really important, I think, to just growing as a person and as a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Sure. So if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, well, maybe I'll ask this two ways. First of all, if they wanted to look into the product more, where would they find that? And then second, if they wanted to get in contact with you to find out more about what you're doing or get connected, where would they go for that?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Matt. You can find me, of course, on LinkedIn under Michael Palmer here in Calgary. And that'll be under Innosol Health and Sol Strips. Our consumer website is Sol Strips, and Sols is plural. So, of course, www.solsstrips.com. If you go on to Amazon.com or Walmart.com, you'll find the products too. If you're an Amazon Prime member, that's great because then you get the free shipping on that. And we always like to drive people through our Shopify store, but that's okay. And that's probably the best place to find the product. And you can drop me an email. Email would be michael@palmco, palmco.ca. It's probably the easiest email address to catch me at. But and on LinkedIn, I'll respond to you within 24 hours usually.
Great. Perfect. Well, Michael, I just want to thank you for your time today. It was great having you on the show, and certainly the best of luck as you go towards that growth looking in the fall here.
Thank you, Matt. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Right, sounds good.
You've been listening to Beyond Wealth, Success Unscripted with Matt Calnan. Want to be our next guest? Visit beyondwealthpodcast.ca/guest. See you on the next episode.